Hello. Good morning to all. Can you hear me properly? Okay. Let me present my screen to you all. My screen is visible. Hello. Okay. Thanks, Abhi and Keval. Okay. So listen. Okay. So first of all, tell me, Miller-Rabin proof is remaining or it's done? Abhi, Keval, the proof is remaining in your class. Hello. Can you hear me? Please reply. Proof is remaining. Okay. Okay, so first I will explain you that thing, and then after we'll start with the knapsack crypto system. Sorry. Just wait. Okay, so in last class I have explained you square root test algorithm, and then after I have explained you Miller-Rabin. So in Miller-Rabin, I told you that see if actually a number is prime, and if the algorithm will give a prime, that is what 100%. But it's a composite that you can say it is 0%. But if the number is composite and if algorithm says it is a prime, so you can say that very small probability you can say that epsilon, the algorithm says it is prime, right? But if the number is composite and the algorithm says composite, so you can say that with a high probability 1 minus epsilon, right? So all this concept that I have discussed. Now what is Miller-Rabin? In the Miller-Rabin algorithm, what we have done, so just see here. So what is the algorithm that I have explained in Miller-Rabin? So let's say here you can say that see basically the purpose of the Miller-Rabin algorithm to for what testing whether the given number is a prime or not. Okay. So what is the algorithm that I have explained? So initially what you are taking, so n minus 1 that is equals to 2 that is equals to 2 raised to just wait, again I am writing so you can understand. N minus 1 that is equals to 2 raised to k into m, right? Where you can write in this way, where what is what, where m is a odd. Now then after what we are doing here, so choose a random number, choose a random integer a such that 2 less than equals to a less than equals to n minus 2. Now see, here in this case, what we have to do, so the probability, you can say that the probability of the mistake can be improved if we run the algorithm more than once. See, suppose first time I am running the algorithm, my algorithm says it is prime. Now next time, so means the different value of a that you have to take. Initially I take the a value of a is 2, right? I run the algorithm, my algorithm say it is prime. Again I am taking the another value, again my algorithm says prime, right? So in each and every case, if algorithm says prime, so then means you can say that my number is a prime. But suppose you can say that the first time I am running the algorithm, second time, third time, fourth time, in all that four case the algorithm says prime. But in when fifth time I am running the algorithm and my algorithm says it is composite, then I can say that the it is composite, right? So in Miller-Rabin, say in that way. So n minus 1, that is see whatever the number is given to you, you can write in this form n minus 1, that is equals to 2 raised to k into m. Now what you have to do, choose a random integer such that 2 less than equals to a less than equals to n minus 2. Now then after what is the next step of algorithm that I have explained? So what you have to do, you can write in this way, b equals to, here you can write a raised to m mod n, right? Now then after you have to check if b that is congruent 1 mod n. If b is congruent 1 mod n, then I can say that the n is prime, means I can, then it will return n is prime, right? Means prime is probably prime. See if we are saying if we can say the algorithm is prime, so that means you can say that, see, it is a it may be possible that the number is composite and the algorithm returns a prime with some small probability epsilon, right? So here, first of all, you have to check a raised to m mod n. If p is congruence 1, then you can say that n is prime. Now then after, what you have to do next? So for I equals to 0 to k minus 1, you have to repeat the loop, right? First understand the algorithm, and then after, based on that, I will explain you the proof. So I equals to 0 to k minus 1, and then here I am writing if b that is congruence minus 1 mod n, right? Then I can say that, again I can say that the n is prime. It will return, the n is prime, right? Else what it will do, else b equals to b square mod n, that is calculated, right? So now but see, if in each and every case, if it will not return minus 1, then my algorithm, what the algorithm return, the algorithm return the number is composite, right? Now just wait, I will show you example, and based on that I will explain your truth. Sorry. Okay, now see this example, everyone. Hello, it's visible, my screen is visible, everyone? Okay. Now see, based on this algorithm, I have explained you this example last time. He does the number 561 that pass the Miller-Rabin test. Okay. So in this case, what I have explained, see, the example is done, I think, right? Yes or no, everyone? Miller-Rabin example. Is it done in your class? Hello, Abhi, Janil? Okay. So I will repeat again that example, and then after I will explain your proof. So now, does the number 561 that pass the Miller-Rabin test? So let's say n equals to 561. So now all of you know that what is the first step of the algorithm. So now see here, this is the first step that I have explained. First, what you have to do, n minus 1, that is equals to what? 2 raised to n into m. So what you have to do, first of all, in this form you have to write 2 raised to k into m. So whatever the number is given to you, n minus 1, that is 560. So in this way you can write 35 multiplied by 2 raised to 4. Okay, where this m is what? M is an odd number. So in this form you can write. Now then after what? So k is 4 that you are getting, m equals to 35. Let's use a equals to 2. Now see the algorithm. So you see first time when you are running the algorithm, you have to take the value of 2 and then you have to use this algorithm again with the help of with the a equals to 3 value that you have to take. Again you have to repeat the algorithm, right? So in this way the calculation is done, everyone. So now what I'm taking here, k equals to 4, m equals to 35 equals to 2. Now what is the next step of algorithm? You have to calculate b equals to a raised to m mod n. So what I'm doing here, so I'm calculating this thing 2 raised to 35 mod 561. Okay, now when I calculate, so at that time I'm not getting 1. So now which condition you have to check? Is it congruent to 1 mod n? So it's not congruent to 1, right? So that means it is not equals to 1. That's why I can say that's why what happened, if it is not 1, then what happened? So this for loop part is executed. Now when you calculate this, when this for loop is executed, so what happened? If the value of b is you are not getting -1, then every time it will perform what? B square mod n, right? All of you know that. So now what happened? The algorithm will enter into the for loop. So now here the value of k is what? 4. So the for loop is repeated from I equals to 0 to 3. Okay, now every time what it will do, b equals to b square mod n, that is performed, right? So first time this b square mod n is performed. So at that time what I am getting? 166. Again when I is 1, again what I am getting? 67. And here I is 2. So I am getting, so see each time I am calculating the b. So at that time what I am doing? So I am comparing it whether I am getting -1 or not. See, if I am getting -1, then I can say that the number is a prime. Otherwise, what happened? Every time you have to see, whenever you calculate b equals to b square mod n, each and every time you have to check whether this b is -1 or not. If this value is not a -1, then every time you have to perform b equals to b square mod n, right? So here each and every case, see, you observe that I am not getting -1, and that's why what happened, my algorithm come out of this for loop, and then my algorithm says the number is a composite. What is what I'm trying to say, right? Is it clear to you all? Is it clear to you all up to this? Okay, so I think all are clear. So now let I will explain you a proof. Sorry. Now see, according to the Fermat's theorem, see here in a whiteboard, according to the Fermat's theorem, if n is prime, then all of you know that according to the Fermat theorem, I can write in this way: a raised to n minus 1 congruence 1 mod n. I can write in this way, right? Now all of you know that in this Miller-Rabin, all of you know that instead of this n minus 1, I can write in this way: 2 raised to k into m. In this form, can you write? Right? Because here see, if the number is 561, see already that I have explained. If it is 561, then I can write in this way. So n minus 1 is 560. So I can write in this form, right? So instead of this a minus n minus 1, now I can write in this way. See here. So that is a raised to 2 raised to k into m, that is congruence 1 mod n, right? Now all of you know the square root test. So according to the square root test, all of you know that if my number n is prime, then can anyone tell me if the n is prime, then which are the square roots? Already that I have explained in your class. So if the number is prime, then according to the square root test, which are the square roots? Please write down in the chat window. Which are the square roots? Please communicate with me, everyone. Write down in the chat window. Can you hear me? Hello? No, Abhi. One and not one and number itself. It is plus or minus one. Plus one and minus one. Yes, once you are correct. So according to the square root test, if n is prime, then I can write in this way: square root of 1 mod n, that is equals to plus or minus 1, right? Now, so here in this particular case, both the side I am performing the square root. So if both the side I am performing the square root, I can write in this way: a raised to 2 raised to k into m, that is congruence, square root of what? 1 mod n, right? And all of you know that instead of that, what can I write here? So I can write in this way: a raised to 2 raised to k m, that is congruence plus or minus 1. So if it is plus or minus 1, so now from that I can I write in this way? So can I write a raised to m, and this is what? Square root of a raised to 2 raised to km. So that means a raised to 2 raised to km raised to 1 half. So instead of that, can I write in this way: a raised to m, then 2 raised to k minus 1 mod n, that is equals to plus 1, or I can write in this way: a raised to m 2 raised to k minus 1 mod n, that is equals to minus 1. But see, minus 1 is not in the range of mod n. So what I am doing, I am adding plus 1. So instead of minus 1, I can say that that is n minus 1. Clear? So now here the two scenario that you are getting: a raised to m 2 raised to k minus 1 mod n, that is equals to plus 1 and minus 1. Now all of you know the algorithm. So in your algorithm, what is the step? B equals to a raised to m mod n. So now in this case, what I told you that if b, the value of b is 1, then what it will return? It will return the algorithm is probably prime. Now when you observe the algorithm, so that step is there: b equals to a raised to m mod n, right? So now here in this case, I can say that when you observe the algorithm, if b is 1, then I can say that p is probably prime. So now see here in this step, if I am taking a raised to m, now see in this particular step, if I am taking a raised to m, that is equals to 1, right? So if a raised to m, that is equals to 1, then then I can say that what my algorithm return? The algorithm says if I am putting here one value, so now I am getting what? A raised to if a raised to m is 1, then a raised to m 2 raised to k minus 1 mod n, that is equals to plus 1, that is satisfied. And all of you know that according to the algorithm, if b is 1, then algorithm says it is prime. Now the second scenario is if a raised to m, that is not equals to 1. So now assume, so see our algorithm. So now see in our algorithm, if I am taking 1, in our algorithm, if it is 1, then my algorithm says it is prime. But see, if a raised to m is not 1 as well as it is not minus 1, then which part? This part is executed. So if this part is executed, then basically b is what? B is a raised to m. So when this part is executed, so what I'm getting? So you have to assume it is not 1 and it is not minus 1. So in that case, this part is executed, all of you know. So what I'm getting initially, a raised to is if I'm putting this a raised to m value, so what I'm getting? A raised to 2m. In next case, I am getting a raised to 4m, and each and every case, what you are finding? So first you are finding a raised to 2m, then a raised to 4m, then a raised to 8m. Then you have to check in each and every case we are checking whether we are getting minus 1, right? If at any point if we are getting minus 1, then my algorithm says it is prime. Otherwise, what happens? The algorithm says it is composite. Is it clear to you all what I'm trying to say? Is it clear, everyone? Is there any doubt? Can I start with the next topic, knapsack? they are not replying me, so I feel that you all are understood. Okay, so I will start with the next topic, everyone. Okay, so listen, everyone. The next topic is knapsack crypto system. First, I want to tell you something regarding this knapsack crypto system. So it's a again this is another crypto system. It's a public key crypto system based on the knapsack problem. Now, see, before that, I want to tell you something that is, suppose you are going to market to buy some apple. Okay, suppose you are going to market to buy some apples. So your friend asks to buy, say, 950-gram apples. Okay, and you see in the market. So here I can say that so I want, so you are going to market to buy some apple. Your friend asks to buy the 950-gram apples. So you see in the market. So there are apples whose weight says, let's say I can say that there are some apples whose weight says 150-gram. The another apple, let's say I can say 170-gram. Let's say the another apple that is of 250-gram, 520-gram. Then I can say that 370-gram, right? So let's say I can say that these A1, these A2, these A3, these A4, these A5, and so on, right? And so on. So that means what is our target? So our target is to buy nine. What is our target? The target is to buy what? The 950-gram apples. Right? All of you know that. This is our target. So here you can say that these a collection of apples A1, A2 up to A100. Among this collection, what do you find? You find a subset, and that is known as a subset of some problem. Yes or no? That you already learned this particular topic in a DA subject also? Yes or no? Hello? Right. So I think you all you are clear up to this. So that means here I can say that, see, the you are going to market to buy some apple. So your friend has to buy the 950-gram apples. So you are so what we are doing, you see in the market there are this many apples are there, right, whose weight are like this. So what is your target? Your target is to buy the 950-gram apples. So there is a collection of apples A1, A2 up to A100, and among these apple, what you find, you find a subset, and that is known as a subset sum problem, right? So you need to find a subset such that whose weight is 950-gram. So what is your task? You need to find a subset such that whose weight is what? 950-gram. So now let's say here you can say that let's say I can say that S equals to, I can say, A1, A2 up to A100, right? So here I can say that I want to, what I want to find, my task is I want to find a subset S1 such that it is S1 subset equals to S. So let's say I can say that S is AI1, AI2, right? These are the item up to AIK, up to what? AIK. So that means I can say that the AI1 plus AI2 plus AIK, that is equals to M. So that is some value. Okay, that is some value. So that means you can say that, so this subset, there is a subset that is known as a knapsack. So we keep this apple into a bag so that the bag is called knapsack. All of you know that, right? So what I want to do, I want to take the, you can say that I want to find this subset such that whose sum is that is equals to M, means whatever the value that I want, right? All of you know that. Now see this algorithm, everyone. So see what I want to try tell you, that is, so in input what we are passing, the input that is A1, A2 up to AN, that I am passing, and S is the sum. What I want the output, the output that is x equals to x1, x2, xn, where xi belongs to what? 0 and 1. All of you know this is a 0 1, right? So and this is sum of subset problem. So that means here I can say that, see, let's say I want to tell you, see, one example so you can understand. Suppose let's say my vector is like this. Suppose let's say my vector is like this, 1, 2, and 5, right? And my sum is what? S equals to 6. So what is my target? My target is what? 6. So all of you know that which are the subsets. So the first subset is 5, the another is 1, then 2, then 5, then 1 2, then 1 5, then 2 5, and then 1 2 5. right? So these are my subsets, right? So here you can say that see, my aim is what I want to find a subset such that whose sum is 6, right? So whose sum is S. So now which subset I am taking? So all of you know that the subset that I am taking, that is what, I can say that 1 5. 1 5 means, how can you represent in a vector form in 0 1 knapsack? All of you know that 1 0 and 1. What is the meaning of that? So this 1 is chosen and 5 is chosen, right? So that means here I get what, when I'm taking this, then I'm getting the sum. I'm finding the subset such that whose sum is 6, right? All of you know that. Now how to do the summation? So all of you know that sigma xi ai. So when I perform the sum of that, so when I perform this sigma xi ai, then I get this sum 6, right? Up to this clear? So I'm not going in detail because all of you know the abstract problem. Yes or no? So now see, in general, what I want to try, so we can try all the subset and 2 raised to n subset, but it's it's take a very exponential time to find this. So it's a very hard problem. Computationally, it's an infeasible problem. And that's why what you have to do here. So you see, some of subset problem, we know that it is very hard for a large n, right? Because we can try all the subsets and it will take the exponential time, right? And that's why it's very hard, and that's why what we have to do, so if we take a a1 a2 an, that is a super increasing sequence, then it's simpler to solve. And how we can take the super increasing sequence, where a2 greater than a1, a3 is greater than a1 plus a2, a4 is greater than a1 plus a2 a3, and an is greater than like this. So got it what I'm trying to say, everyone? What is the sum of subset problem? Right, if we are taking the every if we are taking we try all the subsets, so in that case what happened? So here in this case, see, I'm finding the all the subsets, right? So 2 raised to n subset, but it will take very exponential time, right? So for that, what we have to do, so we have to take the super increasing sequence, right? And see, this super increasing sequence, it's very simpler to find. So in this way, you have to take the super increasing sequence. Now what is the algorithm? So a1 up to an, that is a super increasing order sequence that you have to take. And see, by using this, I am finding the I am calculating the knapsack crypto system that I want to explain you. And the sum is given, that is some value, that is s. What is the output? X1 up to xn, where xi belongs to 0 1. Okay, now see, here one algorithm is there first that you have to remember. For I equals to n down to 1, so later you can understand how this algorithm is useful. Right now just understand. If s is greater than equals to ai, then xi is 1. Then after, what you have to calculate? S equals to s minus ai. Else xi equals to 0, and if s is 0, then you can say x equals to x1 x2 up to xn is the solution, else no solution. So now listen, this algorithm later you can understand how it will be useful. So so now onwards, you have to take what, this super increasing sequence. Okay. So now through this, I will explain you the knapsack crypto system so you can understand. So this algorithm can be useful for decryption also, and it is easy that this is the time complexity. Okay. So now see the example, everyone. So in input it is given, what is your input? A1 up to an, means the super increasing order sequence is given. In exam, if the super increasing sequence is not given, then first you have to short it. Okay, and on that particular input you have to calculate it. Okay, so here the all see, each and every sequence that I have given in a this is super increasing sequence, 7 15 25 and 50. So this is my a. Now the sum, that is s equals to 65, is given to you. Okay, so all of you know the knapsack crypto system. You have to choose a subset in such a way that what you are getting, the sum that you are getting, that is 65, right? All of you know there is a knapsack crypto system, right? So this is my aim. You have to find a subset such that whose sum is what, 65, right? And what is the value of n? The n, that is 4, because there are 4 elements, right? Now how to calculate this? So now see the algorithm, everyone. For I equals to n down to 1, So what is the value of I? I, that is 4. What is the value of S? That is 65. So now what is the algorithm? S greater than equals to AI. So greater than equals to AI means I is 5. Sorry, I is 4. So 65 greater than equals to AI means A4 that I am taking. These A1, A2, A3 and A4. So A4 means 50 that I am taking. The condition is true. And if the condition is true, then what you have to do? Put xi equals to 1. And then after you have to calculate s equals to s minus ai. So x4 equals to 1. Then after I am calculating s minus a4. So 65 minus 50 means s equals to 15 I am getting. Up to this clear? Everyone? Any doubt? Hello? Is there any doubt? Can you unmute yourself, Abhi? See, these are our last lecture or one lecture is remaining? I think these are our last lecture, right? Okay, no problem, no problem. Okay, so then after what I am doing here, see, so now s equals to 15 that I am getting. Again, I am repeating this loop. So again, now what is the value of s? The value of s that is 15. So again, the algorithm, same algorithm, 15 greater than equals to ai means I value of I is what 3. So the a3 that you have to calculate, right? So a3 that you have to calculate. So that means here I can say that s3 3 that is 25. So 15 greater than equals to 25, no. If this condition is not satisfied, then all of you know that else xi equals to 0. So that means x3 equals to 0. Then after again I am taking same 15 greater than equals to 15. Why? Because this is a2. Okay, so at that time I am getting 1, and all of you know that if I am getting 1, then this, if this condition is true, then x2 is 1, and then you have to subtract from s. Okay, so here I am getting 0. So now again 0 greater than equals to what? A1. A1 means which value? 7. So at that time what happened? The condition is false, and all of you know the condition is false. Then what I am getting? X1 equals to 0. Now you have to check if s is 0. So now see, find here, the s is 0 that you are getting. Now s becomes 0. Yes. So if s becomes 0, then what you have to do? Then return, see, this is the solution. This is the solution. X equals to x1, x2, x3, x4. That is the solution. So now see, all of you, again, what I want to tell you, that is, so now see, normally what happened, all of you know that for finding what is the knapsack problem, right? All of you know that the see, suppose let's say, see that apple example I have explained. So you have to find a subset such that, right, the you have to find a subset such that the sum is sum that is s that you are finding. That is the goal of knapsack problem, right? So here, see here in this knapsack problem, what is your input? Some sequence is given to you and the sum is given to you. The target is given to you. So what is your output? You have to find a subset such that whose sum that is equals to what? When you calculate you have to find a subset such that what you get. So whose sum is s that you are getting. right? So now see, when you find which approach, so if we are every time we try the all the subsets, we are finding the subset, and based on that subset, if we are finding it, so then that task becomes very complex. So for that, what we have to do, we have to try this super increasing sequence, right? We have to use this super increasing concept, because see, if the n is very large, then to find out the subset, it's very difficult. So that's why what we have to do, we take a super increasing sequence. So in super increasing sequence, in increasing order, that you have to take the input, right? So that means, see, by through this example, what I'm trying to explain, that is this type of super increasing sequence. So what is the input? This type of super increasing sequence is given to you, and the sum target is given to you. What is your task? You have to find the subset. The task is what you have to find a subset such that whose sum is equals to S. Got it what I'm trying to say? So now here in this example, what I have done, the super increasing sequence is given to you, the sum is given to you, and based on this algorithm, what I have calculated, I am getting the subset. So what I am getting the subset that is 0, 1, 0, 1. So now see, the 2 and 4 is chosen, everyone. So now what is my sum? 65. So when 2 and 4 is chosen, all of you know that the sum of 15 and 15 and 50, that is what, 65. So now my answer is correct. Now my answer is correct. So I am getting this subset such that whose sum is what, 65. Up to this clear what I am trying to say? Is it clear, everyone? Hello? Can you hear me? Okay, so I think all are clear. So now see, here in this case, what I'm trying to do. So if there are two party, Alice and Bob, right? So if Alice want to send some message to a Bob, so all of you know that the Bob perform the setup. The setup is done by Bob. So you have to assume the setup is done by Bob. And if the array A is public, so array A is public means this thing. See, if this is public, so this, whatever the sequence is there, it is public, right? So now all of you know that if Eliza want to send some message to a Bob, the Bob perform the setup, and then see what the Bob will do. The Bob make A as a public. Now what happened? When the Bob make A as a public, so with the help of this public key, what the Alice will do? Alice encrypt the plain text. So suppose assume the Alice can encrypt the plain text x equals to some plain text x1, x2 up to xn, where xi belongs to 0 or 1, right? This is a 0, 1 knapsack problem, right? So with the help of this public key, now Alice encrypt the message by sum is given, that is what, s equals to sigma I equals to 1 ai xi. Now what the Bob will do? So now Bob can use this s and the array a to get the x, right? So see the similar thing that we have done here, right? So here you can say that this a is public, the a is public, the and also what the Bob will do. So the sum is given, the A is public, both the things are there, and with the help of that, what the Alice will do? So see, some plain text is there, right? So with the help of this sum, what the Alice will do? So Alice will get some plain text. Got it? What I'm trying to say? Again, I repeat, everyone. Array is public. Alice can encrypt the plain text message by this sum. All of you know that here I have used that sum, right? The A is public, it is given, and from that what I identify, I'm getting this thing, right? So here you can say that Bob can use S and array A to get the X, and that is the plain text bits, right? But will not work practically, because what happened? The if this S and A is public, then if the attacker can also use this to get the X. So we need, so here you can say that, see, this knapsack problem, it's not a secure. See, again, I tell you, everyone. So here in this case, if A is public, and then also you can say that, see, in the case of what? Let's encrypt the message, right? So now what the Bob will do? The Bob can use the S. The Bob can use this S. So see, first of all, some X message is there. With the help of A is public. So with the help of this X and A, what the Alice will do? Encrypt the message. So S becomes a ciphertext, everyone. and whatever the ciphertext is there, it is given to a Bob. Now what the Bob will do, the Bob can use this S, that is a ciphertext, and array A, because array is public, and with the help of this S and A, and all of you know the Bob know this algorithm, and from that Bob, what the Bob will get, Bob will get the X, right? So in this way you can say that Bob decrypt the message. But see, the if the attacker also uses this X and A, because A is a public, so attacker can also get the plain text. So that's why I can say that this knapsack problem is not secure. Got it what I'm trying to say? Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear to you all? Right? And that's why here what I'm trying to say here, so that's why the new that's why there is some modification in the knapsack crypto system. That is what you have to do. So let's say you can say that a dash equals to a1 dash, a2 dash, an dash. It's a super increasing sequence, right? It is some super increasing sequence, and this super increasing sequence now, right now, see, it is not a public, it is a private to a Bob. See, here in this case, the key generation, Alice want to send some message to a Bob, and right now we have to understand the Bob perform the key generation step. So now what the Bob will do? So a dash equals to a1 dash. See, previously what we have seen, the A is, this particular A is public, right? So here in this case, what we have done, if Alice want to send some message to a Bob, so Alice have a plain text. Now what Alice will do? Alice use this equation because A is public. So with the help of this xi and ai, the Alice perform S. So these becomes your ciphertext. Now what Alice will do? This ciphertext is send it to the Bob. Now Bob have this ciphertext, as well as Bob also know this A value because it is public. So with the help of that, see, the Bob uses this algorithm, right? Because see, in this algorithm, which things are required? S and A. So with the help of that, what the Bob will get? Bob will get the plain text. But see, the A is public. That's why the attacker also know this value, and that's why attacker also get this plain text, right? That's why you can say that this is not secure. Now, what you have to do next, everyone? So in this algorithm, what you have to do, the A dash equals to A1 dash, A2 dash up to AN dash. This is a super increasing sequence that you have to take. Okay, but see, remember that here, this is a private key for what Bob, that you have to remember that. Now then after in this algorithm, some modification is there. You have to select M such that it is greater than equals to sum of all this AI dash. It is greater than equals to what? Sigma I equals to 1 to n AI dash. Okay, so you have to select that M. Now then after next you have to calculate the W such that the GCD of M and W, that is equals to 1. Okay, now what you have to do? So now compute A equals to A1, A2 up to AN. So now what you have to do next? So AI equals to W into W means whatever the value that you are getting, multiply with AI dash. AI dash means this value. Okay, so you have to multiply with it, and based on that you are getting some A value, that the new value of A that you are getting. And this step that break the super increasing nature, right, of AI dash. So see, initially the AI dash is some different values are there, right? So now these are private key of Bob, everyone, right now this is a private key. Now then after I am calculating M by using this equation, then after you have to find a W such that the GCD of M and W is 1. So now then after you have to calculate AI, that is equals to W into AI dash, and this AI dash means this value. So now when you calculate it, you are getting some different value of A, and that value is what a super increasing. And that's why, and this A becomes a public. See, this AI is private to a Bob, but this A is public, right? So that means initially it's a super increasing sequence. So so in the previous case, what happened? It's very easy for attacker to crack it. But see, now here this it now by using this equation, now it breaks the super increasing sequence, right? Super increasing nature of AI dash, and will create a AI which is not a super increasing. And so that's why here in this case, what happened? Whatever this new AI, whatever this A that you are getting, now it becomes a public key. So now in public part, which thing is there? This A becomes a public key. And what is a private? Private means this A dash, that is a private, as well as M is private and W is private. So up to this clear, everyone? Is it clear up to this? Please quickly reply so I can understand everyone. the knapsack crypto system, that will be asked in a first internal. So now what I'm doing here, so now just you have to remember the AS, M and W, that is private, and see whatever the new that by using this you have calculated, that becomes a public. So based on that I can say that it break the super increasing sequence, right? So now how to perform the encryption. So just remember, if Alice want to send some message to a Bob, so let's say Alice use this plain text, okay, where xi belongs to 01. So use the public key. Now Alice use which public key, all of you? So this public key Alice will use, right? And with the help of that, what the Alice will do? Encrypt the message. Okay. So now use that public key. So what is the equation? S equals to sigma AI into xi. Okay. A means this A Alice will use, and X is its plain text, right? So and with the help of that, the encrypted output means ciphertext the Alice will get. Now, all of you know that in public crypto system, once the ciphertext you are getting, after that what happened? Alice sends this ciphertext to a Bob. So when Alice sends this ciphertext to a Bob, so at that time, what the Bob will do? So, and in the case of Bob, now Bob you use which A, everyone? Can anyone tell me? The Bob use which K, which A? Which A is used by Bob? Please reply, everyone. Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Now see here, the which A, so that means now in the case of Bob, this A is used, right? Because it is private to a Bob. So this particular A is used. So now what happened next? See here. So you can understand. So in Bob's side, what happened? So what the Bob will do? It multiply S, whatever the value of S is there, by W inverse. Okay, because see W, M and this A dash, that is private to a Bob. So what the Bob will do? This step the Bob will perform. It multiply S by W inverse with respect to modulo M. So now it will calculate this W inverse S mod M, and all of you know that what is the equation of S? That is AI into sigma I equals to 1 to n AI into WI xi, AI into xi. So it will put this value. So what you get? W1 inverse A1 x1 plus W1 inverse A2 x2. In this way you can write, right? And all of you know that which equation? AI equals to W into AI inverse mod n. From key generation, can you write this? Right? AI equals to W into AI inverse mod m. Right? So from key generation, you can write this thing, everyone. Right? So here, both the side, if I am multiplying with W inverse, so what I get? W inverse AI, that is congruence what? AI dash mod m, because the GCD of WM and 1 is 1. That's why I can write in this way, right? So here all of you know that W1 inverse A1, that is A1 dash, this A2 dash, this AN dash. So instead of that I can put the value. What I can put the value, everyone? So instead of this, what W1 inverse A1, what I put the value? A1 inverse A2 dash and AN dash, right? Can I put the value over here? So A1 dash x1 plus A2 dash x2 plus A1 AN dash xn, right? So I can write the value like this. Okay, so finally I can say that W1 W inverse S mod M, that is equals to what? Sigma I equals to 1 to n A1 AI dash xi mod M, right? In this way I can write in this way, right? Now see, all of you know that Bob knows how Bob decrypt the value. So all of you know that what the Bob know. All of you know that the M value the Bob know. Next value W Bob know. See, the W inverse S is known. Why? Because see, the W is private to a Bob, M is private to a Bob, right? S means the ciphertext is known to a Bob, W is known to a Bob, M is known to a Bob, right? As well as AI does known means this value. This value, which value? This value is also known to a Bob. So from that, can Bob decrypt can Bob, but xi means the plain text is not known to a Bob. So what the Bob will do? All of you know that already that we have used previously the algorithm that I have explained, because S is known, W is known, M is known, each value is known, AI is also known. So from that, see, by using this example, I told you that if the S is known, the increasing sequence is known, then directly you get the plain text. So now what the Bob will do, the Bob uses this particular algorithm. But see, remember that now in this case, see, in the previous case, what happened, the A is public, so directly the attacker can access the S because ciphertext is also public. So if the attacker know the ciphertext and A value, then directly the attacker get the plain text also. But in here in this case, what happened? So here in this case, you can say that, see, now the attacker doesn't know the private key A dash W and M, right? And that's why you can say that, see, Eve knows the A only, because see, the A is public, but that A is not a super increasing sequence. And right now, here in this case, what happened, the attacker does not know A dash W and M. And that's why you can say that the Eve require exponential time to break this cipher. And that this is the thing that we wanted, right? So the attacker can't break it. So this modification that I have done this in algorithm, and then I make what the my A is not becoming a super increasing sequence, and that's why you can say that it's require an exponential time to break this cipher. And this is the thing that we wanted, right? Now see the example so you can understand, everyone. So in input, what I'm doing, the A dash equals to 715. So this is a sequence that is given to you. Okay, so now what all of you know that according to this algorithm, first, what is the step? So this ADAS is given to you. What you have to calculate? You have to find the M such that the M greater than equals to the summation of this AI dash, right? So what you have to do here, see. So first, ADAS is given. Now I am calculating the sum, that is 97, M greater than equals to 97. So now I am choosing the 97. Okay. So now then after, what is my next step? See the algorithm. So the next step is you have to find GCD of M and W is 1. So now what I'm doing here, so now I'm taking a W such that the GCD of MW is 1. So W equals to 3 that I am getting. Now then after, what is my next step? So this is a key generation part, right? So my next step is, now I have to I want to break this super increasing sequence. So for that, what you have to do, W into AI dash mode N. So this operation you have to perform, so you get the some new A value, right? So W means that already that you have calculated, AI dash means this value that the Bob will take. So now what happens? See the example. Up to this clear what I'm trying to explain, everyone? Is it clear why about the new algorithm and all that stuff? Clear, everyone? Okay. So now what I'm doing here, see, by using this equation where AI dash means A1 means which value it will take, 7, A2 means 15, A3 means 25, A4 means 50. So by using that, I am getting this new value. So now this A1, A2, A3, A4. So that becomes my A. So now this A becomes a public. So now see, initially it's a super increasing sequence. Now you observe that this this is not a super increasing sequence, right? So that's why now this thing is given to a what, this thing becomes a public, and that's why you can say that now knapsack is crypto system becomes a secure system. Earlier what we are doing, earlier this initial whatever the value of A is, that becomes a public, right? So now when the attacker get the sum value and this key value A, so now directly it will find, according that algorithm, directly it will find this the plain text. But now what happened, this A dash, this A dash, M and W, that is what private to above, and this A becomes what, that is public to what, this becomes a public. Now what happens, this is not a super increasing sequence. Now all of you know that what is my private key, this A dash, M and W, this is my private key, and what is my public key, public key is A. Now what the allies will do, let's say this some message is given to you, this some message 1010, so this is some message, okay, that is given to you. Now in this message, what I'm doing, so here in this case, what the allies will do, allies uses this which A, allies uses this public key A, that allies will use. So with the help of that, what the allies will perform, the sum allies will perform. So now this becomes your ciphertext. Now what the allies will do, this ciphertext is send it to a Bob. Okay, so now which thing is done by Bob? So all of you know that according to the algorithm, what the Bob will do? Bob calculate the W inverse S mod n, right? So this thing that I have explained everyone. So now what the Bob will do? Bob calculate this thing, W1 inverse S mod n, right? So that Bob will perform. So this is the step that you have to understand. So W1 inverse M mod n that the Bob will calculate. The W that is private, right? The S that is ciphertext that Bob will get. M that is what 97. It is also private to a Bob. Okay. So now after that, what happened? So now see, here in this case, what I'm trying to say, so see, now just listen, it's very difficult for attacker to crack it. Why? Because see, if see ciphertext this 96 and see this A is public, but it's very difficult for attacker to crack it. Why? Because see, if the attacker know this ciphertext S, but see, the attacker does not know what is the value of W. Attacker does not know what is the value of M, because these two things are what, it's a private, right? So it's very difficult for attacker to crack it, to find out the what, plain text, right? So now it becomes a very difficult task, and that's why now the second system, that second modified version that I have explained, now it is a secure, right? So now first you have to calculate it, this multiplicative inverse. So for from that, what I'm getting 32. Okay, so W1 inverse mod M, that I am getting 32. So this your what? These your sum. These your sum that you are getting, right? So now you have with sum now. So W1 inverse mod M, basically it is my sum. Okay, so now I have what, this 32 means sum I am getting side, and what it will do. So which A now Bob will you? Bob you uses its own private key, right? So see now Bob uses which? So now Bob uses this increasing sequence A dash that Bob is using. So now which thing the Bob have? So now see here. Now Bob have this S, as well as also Bob have this super increasing sequence. So now what the Bob will do? Uses this algorithm. And now when Bob will this uses this algorithm, now what the Bob will get? Now Bob get the x1 to xn, means plain text the Bob will get. Now see here. So this W1 inverse, sorry, S mod M, that is 32. So this sum that is S equals to 32, right? And Bob uses its private key. With the help of that, what the Bob will do? Apply the algorithm, and from that Bob will get this solution 1010. And initially, what is the plain text? 1010. So now finally, what I get? 1010. So all of you clear what I have done? Is it clear to you all? Is there any doubt in this knapsack crypto system? In the first case, what I told you earlier, what happened in the beginning, that I told you, the A becomes a public, right? So basically the purpose is to find a subset such that whose sum is equals to what, S. But see here in our, what happened initially, if A is public, then it's very easy for an attacker to find out what, the plain text. But now which modification I have done in my algorithm? So what I am doing, so initially whatever the increasing sequence is there, right? So that is the private key of the. Now in that, what I'm calculating this M value by using this formula. Then I'm taking selecting the M such that it is greater than equals to what, sum of this. Okay, you have to choose that type of that M such that it is greater than equals to sum of this. Then I have calculated W, and then after I am performing WAI inverse, so where I am taking this A. So now I am getting the new value of A. Now it becomes what? It breaks the super increasing sequence, and this becomes a public. These are private to above, and this becomes a public. So now it breaks the super increasing sequence. Now what I am doing? So public key is A, and private key is what? A dash M and W. So this thing is private. So now then after, what I have done, if Alice wants to send some message to a Bob, so what the Alice will do? The Alice have some plain text. What the Alice will do? So with the help of which, because which A is, so this A is public. So with the help of this public key, this is a plain text message. With the help of that, what the allies will do? Perform the ciphertext. Now, once the allies get the ciphertext, this ciphertext is sent it to a Bob. So now, whatever the ciphertext means, that S send it to the Bob. So what the Bob will do? So multiply whatever sum is there, it multiply with W inverse, because this W is private to a Bob. The M is also private to a Bob, right? So with the help of that, it will calculate it. So finally some S value that the Bob will get. Now after finding the S value, right, finally these are the summation that the Bob will get. Now once a Bob will get the summation, so with the help of that S, now all of you know this algorithm. So now Bob have this S value, as well as its on this increasing super increasing order sequence the Bob have. So Bob uses that too, and with the help of that, finally what as a output the Bob get, and finally the Bob get this sequence. So is it clear to you all what is the flow of knapsack? Is there any doubt? So I think all are clear. Okay, thank you everyone. Up to the knapsack, that is your syllabus. Okay, so whatever I have explained in your class, that is your syllabus. And listen everyone, don't rely on my material only. You have to refer to the book also. Okay, so all the best for your exam everyone. Thank you.